brothers and sisters. It's me, Lori Ann Spagna, here with you today to chat with you briefly about your so-called ego and why everything you've ever been told about the ego is wrong. I don't like the word wrong so much, but inaccurate. Let's use that word. So the way our old paradigm and most of the preceders, the old teachers in the old paradigm have taught is that you have an ego, and your ego etches God out, which isn't, that part's not totally inaccurate, and you own that ego, it's yours. And a little more advanced perspective about the ego is that your ego keeps you alive because it helps you to survive. And this is the current paradigm, right? And even in most spiritual metaphysical circles, people tend to believe that they have an ego. And, you know, older teachings will teach you to eliminate the ego, to get rid of the ego. Slightly more progressed teachings will teach you to love the ego, that it's your ego. But what I want to offer you today is that that is all inaccurate, and that what exists in actuality in what we call the fourth dimensional bandwidth is egoic structure. So think of it as a semi-inert, semi-inorganic, meaning unnatural, composed of all kinds of beliefs from human consciousness, thoughts, opinions, judgments, ideas, perspectives, ideologies, belief systems, belief structures, and all of these are made up of the collective of human identity, and they all are in this composite or this energetic, what we would call inertia. And this inertia exists, it's non-physical, physical energy made up of consciousness that is associated with human, as I mentioned, ideologies, that is a structure of non-physical matter, and it's all in what we call the fourth dimensional bandwidth. So a lot of people associate the fourth dimension with time, and that's not inaccurate either. Time is a construct. Time is a set of belief systems and identifications, and that exists there too. Fourth dimension is like this massive bandwidth, frequency bandwidth full of lots of non-physical matter that is all entanglements and all kinds of identifications coming from primarily human identity and consciousness. And for sure, other lower dimensional beings and their consciousness exists there too, not just humans. We have entities there, and yes, you could have demonics in there, and you could have ghosts hanging out in there who maybe do or don't know that they're not physically alive anymore, but they may have some form of light to some degree or shadow to a lot of degree, non-physical structure made of apparitions, for example. So this is fourth dimensional construct, and humans have been taught in the old paradigm, which was a third dimensional paradigm, which most humans are still in that third dimensional paradigm that's only based on the physical. They've been taught that they have an ego, and they identify with this ego, and that serves this inertia in the fourth dimensional realm. That inertia also could be a lot of like energetic debris of pain, of suffering, of me, I, me, mine. You know, it can be survival based. You see, you still have stuff in your consciousness, in your energy field, in your neural net, in your brain matter that will help you survive, you know, fight, flight, all of that stuff. That's not part of ego. That is human physiology, and animals have it too, of course. Survival instincts, that helps you survive. You have identifications as an individual who's here with a soul mission and a soul agenda. That's not egoic structure. That is soul mission, soul agenda, divine source working in and through you, all kinds of other things that are even in service and contribution, that stuff is more 60, right? That's based in higher mission, higher purpose, the evolution of your consciousness. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about egoic structure that entangles us and traps us into the third dimension because we identify with it and believe that it's ours. And I want to say that that's not accurate. It's born out of an old system, that old third dimensional paradigm, where we're taught to identify with this egoic structure because it keeps us entrapped when we believe it's us and we believe it's ours. And we struggle with it and we have to figure out a way to navigate it, right? But the moment you start realizing that it's not yours, it's just part of inertia. And this inertia is just energetic debris that in a sense keeps you to some degree or another trapped and or entangled in the lower dimensional reality, and that this inertia is designed on purpose in a sense out of the old paradigm to keep us stuck and trapped. And we believed from the old paradigm perspective that it was ours personally. But in reality, the higher truth is that you're a multidimensional being who exists at all frequencies of love, of light, of consciousness, of vibration. And in order to identify more wholly and completely with all aspects of your consciousness, you want to disidentify with your ego. You want to recognize it as egoic structure, which is a higher truth of what it really is. And up until now, because you've identified with it, thought that it was yours, identified it as your own, whether you did that in a conscious or unconscious way, it kept you trapped. Saying you, but I mean all of us. So the more you begin to recognize that this egoic structure is its own form of inertia designed to keep people trapped and stuck in the lower paradigm. Now, I know it's very challenging to break that belief system that you have an ego. But the more you begin to identify with your avatar self, your multidimensional self, your I am presence, your source creator aspect, your higher self even, which, right, your higher self comes from beyond that fourth dimensional bandwidth. In a sense, your higher self is an aspect that is more purified of its so-called ego, right? The more you identify with those other aspects of you, the more you will realize that egoic structure is not the truth of who you are. And you do not have an ego. You have been living inside of a paradigm where ego was something you believed that was yours. You were told and taught through who knows how many lifetimes, but certainly this one, that you have an ego and that it's yours. And the more you think it's yours, the more it can entrap you because you keep identifying with it as if it's yours. But in reality, it's just collective, almost like antimatter, non-physical matter. It's not physical, and yet it has substance, inertia. And that is the higher truth about the ego. Old belief systems being dismantled now on planet Earth, and that is one of them. Stop identifying with your ego and start identifying with your multidimensional self, the higher truth of who you are, that you are an aspect of God, source, creator, and all that is, the infinite, all that is. And that infinite all that is a vibrational bandwidth and frequency of infinite consciousness, infinite awareness, infinite love, infinite all that is, your mighty I am presence, your divine avatar self, the luminosity of your being made up of light, sound, and frequency. And that is truth. That version of you does not have an ego. There is simply egoic structure that was an effect of a cause-effect, causal reality, cause and effect reality in the identification of separation. Okay, I hope that is helpful. And now the non-physical ego personality of my dog is ready for some love and attention. So if you want more assistance disidentifying with the egoic structure and aligning with your true divine source, please head over to LoriSpagna.com and join us for any of the events and activities that we always have going on to support and assist you in aligning with the divinity that is you and restoring and reclaiming your true rightful identity as source, creator, divinity, self aspect that you are. Individualized self, yes, still the higher truth of your avatar multidimensional being. I love you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. I will see you over at LoriSpagna.com. And please do like and share the video too. Okay, lots of love to you. Until next time. Bye-bye.